Welcome back to the Demon Slayer Gaming channel. We're going to be continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Dungeon Guide series today. We're going to be taking a look at another of the normal raids released in patch 6.4, Anabaseios, the 11th Circle. This dungeon is where the mechanics are going to start really ramping up. So from here to the 12th Circle, there's going to be a lot that you'll need to watch out for. Now, throughout this fight, there will be an overarching theme that all of his abilities will either have a gold hue to them or a purple hue. Gold hue means that there will be an additional AoE along with the one that's already shown that you'll need to move out of. And then the purple hue is going to mean that you need to move into the original AoE so that you can avoid a secondary one. Now, he's going to start off casting Eunomia. This is just going to do party-wide damage along with applying a bleed damage over time effect. And it'll also cut off the outside portion of the platform. He'll then teleport to the center of the platform and begin casting Devising Ruling. The first time this is cast, it will have a purple effect to it, meaning that you'll need to move into the initial AoE to avoid the secondary one. He'll then cast Devising Ruling again with the gold effect, meaning that you'll need to move further away from the initial AoE, as a secondary one will follow up that will have a bit larger of an area of effect. From now on, whenever he casts Devising Ruling, it'll be either the purple or the gold, and you'll have to watch for which one you need to move into. After casting this ability 3 times, he'll then cast another Eunomia for more party-wide damage and continuous damage over time effect. He'll then cast Dark and Light. This is going to put 2 circular AoEs on the platform that do not actually cause damage, but his follow-up cast of Sigils of Discord will put either a light or dark effect on all party members. You need to be standing in the circle of the opposite effect. So if you have the dark circle around your character, you need to get in the light circle, and if you have the light circle around your character, you need to get into the dark. While this is happening, he'll also cast Dinius. This is going to put several circular AoEs on the platform that you'll just need to move out of. Afterwards, he'll cast Emissary's Will. Anyone who is not in the circle of the opposite color will immediately die from this ability. He'll then cast Dismissal Ruling. And then, depending on which color effect this has, there will be a secondary AoE afterwards. So we had the purple one first, so there was a donut AoE around the platform. We had to get underneath him. And then the second Dismissal Ruling had a gold effect, meaning there's an AoE under him and we needed to move away. He'll then cast Dike, which will hit both tanks with a tank buster. Before going back into another Dark and Light. Sigils of Discord will put the element on all party members, so then you'll need to move into the opposite circle. He'll then cast a Dismissal Ruling. This is going to do a knockback. You want to make sure you're maintaining your position inside of the colored circle, though. And then along with either having the gold or purple AoE afterwards, so you'll need to reposition accordingly. He'll then do another Emissary's Will, which will kill anyone who's not in the correct colored circle, before following up with an Upheld Ruling. This is going to do a large circular AoE on one party member, has the purple effect attached to it, so you'll need to stand next to the party member that has the AoE so that you can immediately move under the boss to avoid the follow-up one. He'll then do an Upheld Ruling, which is a group up mechanic. It has the gold AoE attached to it, so you'll need to move away from the boss after the initial hit happens. And then he'll follow this up with sticks, which is going to be a group up mechanic which hits several times. So you just want to make sure that you're maintaining your position inside of the group and applying heavy healing at this time. I'll then go back to the center of the platform, casting Dark and Light. Sigils of Discord will put the element on all party members, so then move into the opposite colors effect. He'll then do a Devising Ruling. This will do the AoE down the center of the platform, followed up either with an additional AoE if it's gold, or you'll need to move inside the original AoE if it was purple. And then a Dismissal Ruling for the knockback effect. You can use knockback prevention on Dismissal Ruling. Just make sure you're not doing it when it has a gold AoE, so that you're being pushed out of the follow-up AoE. I'll then follow up with the Emissary's Will, along with the Dike Tank Buster on both tanks. He'll then do a Denice, while also doing a Devising Ruling, so you'll need to move out of the circular AoEs on the ground, and then either repositioning further or into the AoE, depending on if it had a purple or gold effect to the Devising Ruling. He'll then do the Upheld Ruling, which have the purple effects, so make sure that you're standing close to the AoE so that you can move underneath him afterwards. And then follow up with another Eunomia for party-wide damage and continuous bleed effect. He'll then follow up with a new ability called Shadowed Messengers. This will put 2 copies of himself on the outside of the platform, each of them casting Devise Ruling. You will need to identify which of them has the purple effect on it so that you can reposition into the AoE from this one, while moving along the outside of the platform to avoid the follow-up AoE from the gold one. While doing this, the boss will teleport to the center of the arena, casting Blinding Light, which will put a circular AoE on all party members, so you'll need to spread out. Following up with a Dismissal Ruling, he'll follow up this with another Stick, so make sure that you're grouping up and splitting this damage. And at this time, you've seen every mechanic in this fight, so it'll just start to repeat. Before going back to the center of the platform and casting another Denice. He'll then do another Devising Ruling, so you either need to move away or underneath depending on the color effect. And then doing a Upheld Ruling. Eunomia will do the party-wide damage and continuous damage over time effect. And then cast another Dark and Light. So identify which color effect is set on your character and then move into the opposite one. He'll then do another Divisive Ruling, so you'll need to either move in or out, depending on if it is gold or purple. Before doing another Dismissal Ruling. And then followed by another Emissary's Will. I'll follow this up with a Dike Tank Buster. before casting Denise one more time, and doing another divisive ruling again. Follow this up with a upheld ruling. And then going into another Eunomia for party-wide damage and continuous bleed. He'll then do another Shadowed Messengers for summoning the 2 copies of himself on the outside of the platform. Again, identify which one has the purple effect. And then stay along the outside of the platform while moving into the AoE that was the purple one. He'll then do Blinding Light, so make sure you're spreading out along the platform. And then a Dismissal Ruling. So get close to him, and then either move away or back underneath him again after the AoE, depending on the effect that follows. You'll then want to group for the Styx AoE and make sure that you're staying grouped up to absorb all hits of this. He'll then teleport back to the center of the platform, casting another Denise with the circular AoEs, and casting another divisive ruling. Then do a upheld ruling. This time we had it with the purple effect, so you need to move away from the original party member and then get underneath him. And then finally a Eunomia for party-wide damage and continuous bleed effect. But this should be it for Anabaseios the 11th Circle. I hope this helped everyone out. If it did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will catch you on the next one.